Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast that makes ancient wisdom relevant today. I'm your host, Raghunath, and I'm with my co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York City, Kostubadas. Welcome to the show. Welcome to episode 1359, and it's, what do we call it again? Represent Monday? Merch Monday. It's Merch Monday.
Wear your merch Monday.
Wear your merch Monday. Everyone's got their merch on here live in Zoom. You want to join us in Zoom? Email Miss Mara at wisdomofthesages108@gmail.com.
Isn't today's, or maybe Linda's going to announce that, but it's a special merch day, right?
Yeah.
Is it? Tell us.
Yeah.
What's going on with the merch?
Well,
Hi,
I'll
Linda.
share it in announcements.
Okay.
Okay, well, it's time for announcements. We have Linda filling in for Miss Mara, who's gallivanting around Africa for her brother's wedding. She'll be back soon. But we love having you, Linda.
Well, thank you very much. I'm excited.
I've also was criticized, by the way. I was criticized for putting you on the hot seat, and the people were like, "That was the hot seat. That wasn't hot. You're like throwing her. You're lobbing softballs to her." I was like, "All right,
lukewarm seat."
It was a lukewarm seat, and you're gonna get it today. I just want you to know.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay, great. So announcements. Thank you. And it's my pleasure to be here, but I will be very glad when Mara returns. I miss her very much.
Yeah.
So for announcements, we've got Bhakti Recovery Group meetings today at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. We've also, I think, got just 2 weeks left on the discount for Italy 2025. So I want to make sure we remind everyone that if you go in to book the Italy trip for 2025, you get a 10% discount if you put in the code WOTS25. So time's running out on that. Don't forget. And then today is
I just heard 29 people have signed up already for that.
Yeah, it's filling up fast, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And today is Wear Your Merch Monday. So, one of the best ways that people can help us promote the show is to simply wear your Wisdom of the Sages merch and post a picture of you in it on social media. If you do today, we will reshare your post, and then we'll put you in a drawing to give away a Wisdom of the Sages tote. Yes, you'll have a chance to win a Wisdom of the Sages tote.
So I'm definitely doing this because I need a tote.
Yes,
you can win it, Raghunath.
Well, now the interesting thing is, ever see those car wraps where they wrap a car in something like, some advertisement to sell,
sticker,
like,
big sticker,
Cliff Bars or something, a giant sticker, and people that really is an effective way of advertising.
Drive it all over the place.
Drive it all over the place, and so you think, well, wearing your T-shirt, people are like, wisdom. I always get somebody comes up to me, and I don't even live in the city.
Same.
Even in my, because I was thinking, well, what good is it? I live on a dirt road. Who's going to see my shirt? People see it. It's unbelievable. That's how I met Richard O. I was in the local co-op in my tiny one-horse town, and the guy's just like, yeah, Wisdom of the Sages. Oh my God, yeah, all right, cool. I listened to the show. I was like, you're kidding me.
Made a connection.
Guy made a connection.
Or people might say, what is that Wisdom of the Sages? It's so intriguing. I need to know about this. What is that all about?
Yeah. And when you share on social media, thousands of people all over the world can see it, not just the people in your local community. So
it's so much easier being a Hare Krishna nowadays, isn't it? The old days, they'd have to go into an airport and sell books. We're not asking anybody to do that. Just wear a T-shirt, darn it.
Yeah.
but can you tell me again how that tote, how you get the tote?
Yeah. So if you wear your merch and create a post on social media, Facebook or Instagram, tag us, tag Wisdom of the Sages. We'll reshare the post and we'll put your name in the drawing for the tote if you share on social media.
When will the drawing be?
The drawing we can do the drawing. I'll do it end of day tomorrow. So
okay. Some people hear this show after the Monday though. So maybe we should do it on Friday or something like that.
Okay, let's do that.
Might do it.
Okay.
But you got to do it because they're expecting a tote now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you can count on me, Prabhu, to do it, but it's just a matter of deciding when. So if we want to give till Friday and people can share all week, then
Either way, I'm okay
definitely
either way,
do
but
that.
more people will have the opportunity that way.
Yeah.
I've got a new one for you guys. Airport distribution Thursday. Everyone on Thursday has to go
Okay.
out with a bag of Chaitanya Charitamritas and distribute an entire case every Thursday. You pick your local airport.
Actually, I'm okay though. Maybe it should just be Merch Monday, and it should just be a Monday thing. You guys decide.
Well, I think I like the Merge Monday idea. I mean, we do it every Monday. We talk
Okay.
about it every Monday. So
Merch Monday.
who
Okay.
knows? Next week maybe we'll
Merch
have
Monday.
another giveaway.
People
So
have another chance, maybe. Okay. Okay.
yes,
So Merch Monday
Airport.
thing. You got to get it up on social media today.
yes.
Okay.
And I'll give through tomorrow morning, just in case you're in a time zone that,
Right.
you're a little bit
California,
delayed,
Hawaii, or
but
something.
I'll
Yeah.
do the drawing tomorrow, Tuesday evening, and we'll announce on Wednesday who wins the tote.
All right.
And yes, a tote is a bag, basically.
Tote bag.
Tote.
Yes.
Mall Monday.
All right. You ready for the nugget, Raghunath?
Yeah.
Let's
We
do it
made
then.
it so easy, Kostya. We've made it so easy to be a Hare Krishna.
Just accept it, people.
in 2.0. It's so easy.
What's
I was just with Bob Cohen this weekend.
oh,
Brahmatirtha. If you've ever
Brahmatirtha,
read this
he's-
book, Perfect Questions for Perfect Answers, he said he was the first guest because they just bought this big field, which is Mayapur. That's where the
In Mayapur,
huge
in India.
Mayapur project is. All they had was a field and there was like a bunch of devotees, and he was a guest. He was like, I was the only guest.
Yeah.
And
He was in
just-
the Peace Corps at the time. He was a young man in the Peace Corps, and he met Prabhupada, what, 1970?
1971. And he
71.
started asking these really good questions, and Shama Sundar was there. And Shama Sundar said, we should record this. Prabhupada, these are great questions, and your answers are so great. And Prabhupada said, make a book. Perfect questions, perfect answers.
And that was it.
And they made a book out of it. And Prabhupada spent all day with him for like 7 days and did this. So he was with us this weekend. It was super nice.
Now
and I
he's
was-
heading up the Bhaktivedanta Institute, this academic scientific wing of our Bhakti movement.
Yeah, it's quite
He's
impressive.
a great
I'm
person.
saying this because in the old days, to go to Mayapur, you're sleeping in the grass, you're camping out, you're washing your clothes in a river. It was really they've made it really easiest for us to go to
Get
Mayapur
malaria.
now. Yeah, getting malaria. Now it's so easy to go to Mayapur. It's like a vacation. It's a holiday. We're making it easy. Everyone.
That
Merch
book,
Monday.
that book, Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers, which is still available. You can find it, I'm sure.
I got one
That's
yesterday.
right. So that book, that was kind of like for people like you and I, that was one of those kind of like small paperback books that we read when we were first getting into this. Like, this makes so much sense, right? Perfect
Yeah.
Questions, Perfect
Everybody
Answers.
should read that book. Go get it. Go on Amazon and get it.
Okay.
Okay, here's our nugget today, sir.
Who's it
This
from?
is from Amy Moore. Wait a second. Amy Moore, is she a singer?
No.
Who is she?
Amy Morin is a psychotherapist, mental strength trainer, and an international best-selling author. Her books in the 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do series have sold more than 1 million copies and have been translated into more than 40 languages. You got a lot of catching up there to do in 40 languages, Raghunath. What do you got so far?
I've got Danish and Portuguese.
In English.
Working on Italy and Germany. Anybody
Okay.
wants to publish my book in other languages, hit me up.
Okay, so I never heard of this Amy Morin, but then I checked out she had like a TED talk. I only saw the beginning of it, but I thought it was pretty cool. She's got like it's an interesting. Again, I haven't read these books. I can't speak to their quality or validity or whatever, but like this is the contents to 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do. They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. They don't you should write this book, right? They don't give away their power. They don't shy away from change. They don't focus on things they can't control. They don't worry about pleasing, so it's like and what I realized as I began to check her thing out a little, what she means by mentally strong is what we would call like a controlled mind. It's actually
Like determined, focus. Pointed.
or well, not distracted or diverted from your own well-being. You know, it really, if we want to get well, we can talk. Let's read what she says, and we can talk more about the mind and all that as we get
I
into
thought
it.
she was the lady from Till Tuesday.
I don't even know till Tuesday.
I don't know Till Tuesday. Okay. Just because you're struggling with self-discipline doesn't mean you have to raise the white flag and declare your self-improvement efforts a complete failure. I was just saying this the other day.
Are you?
Instead,
See, I told you should write the book.
work to increase the chances that you'll stick to your healthier habits, even when you don't feel like it. So that's the
I think
key.
you could read that with a little different intonation.
Instead,
Like, yeah, instead, work to increase the chances that you'll stick to your
Okay.
healthier habits, right? Like that.
yeah, work to increase the chances that you'll stick to your healthier habits.
Even when you don't feel like it.
Hmm.
Because if it, let's say, I took up the idea, oh, I want to practice bhakti, and it requires self-discipline, right? It requires controlling the senses, not doing a lot of things I used to do maybe will be healthy for me. You know, doing certain things that I haven't done, which in the beginning may feel austere, but you know, they take time before they really feel more natural and satisfying to you.
Sure.
And I try to wake up early, but I find myself lying around in bed. I try to go to bed early. I find myself staying up and watching television. You know, things like that. Her point was, it's going to be natural that we struggle to discipline ourselves,
Hmm.
but her strategy was set things up in such a way that it will increase your chances to stick to these healthier habits. That means, like, let me begin to construct my life in such a way where that kind of behavior is normalized or becomes easier. Or, you know, like if I want to get up and chant japa early in the morning, do my meditation in the morning, well, what do I need to do to make that happen? I need to get to sleep early, you know. If I want to get to sleep early, what do I have to do so that I'll get to sleep early? Begin to construct your life in ways that will facilitate the ease of self-discipline.
Hmm.
And that's really, like, we're reading in the Bhagavatam now about like these four social orders, you know, like four different kind of occupations with
Right.
with each one with their different responsibilities and ethical codes. And then today we're going to read about the four different times in life, they're called the ashrams, but the four different stages of life, again with clearly prescribed codes, you know, ethical codes and practice and disciplines. And so the idea there was they were building an entire society wherein you would have a better, that would increase your chances of sticking to healthier habits.
Mm.
Right? So we might look at it as oppressive. Why are you imposing all these codes? But because they increase our chances of sticking to healthier habits. Yeah. How do you do that in your life, Raghunath? Some ways.
Well, first of all, I think that a big part of this statement is that we tend to live in a world of all or nothing also.
Mm-hmm.
And here she said, like, throw up the, I just can't do this. I can't do this. And you know, we have a lot of, not, the Gaudiya Vaishnavism, there's a very high bar that is set. And we feel like, due to, who knows, maybe some guilt or some, like, we're trying to please somebody. We're trying to please somebody out there, please a parent, please an older brother, please a relative. Like, I got to do it. I got to do it. And we feel like we can't jump that high and hit this idea of perfectionism. Then I just want to do it. We were saying this yesterday. We just want to tear down all the rules and just say, you know what, this isn't the real me. Guess what? You can be in the club, even if you can't chant 16 rounds. You can be in the club, even if you can't completely control your senses. You can be in the club, even if you go to the movies every now and then.
Right.
You can be in the club. You can be in the club. You can't be necessarily a priest within the society, but you're in the society. If you have an affection for Krishna, guess what? You're in the club. And people just feel like, I can't do this. And their own shame kicks in. So don't throw in that white flag. It's not perfection. It's progress.
Okay.
We have this perfection attitude, or else I don't want to even play. just make a little progress. Make a
And,
little
and,
progress.
and you know, like Raghunath, like you're commonly use this term like Hare Krishna 2.0, you know, like kind of saying like ear- early on, and you know, of course, the Hare Krishna movement is an expression of a ancient tradition going back so many centuries, but it kind of landed in the Western world in the 60s and the 70s,
Mm.
and it it became a particular expression of that ancient tradition, and and it kind of grew in a particular way. Um, and some of those, I don't know, trends could feel very prohibitive.
Mm-hmm.
And so 2.0 means kind of saying like, you know, we always got to focus on the essence. We got to see where it all goes and do whatever we can to help someone move forward. So for instance, if you got into this Krishna Bhakti back in 1975 because someone presented a Bhagavad Gita to you in a parking lot somewhere at a rock concert or something like that, and you're into George Harrison, and George Harrison wrote the introduction, and you read the book, and you're like, this is great, I'm totally into this. It's likely that you would have gotten the impression or been, you know, steered towards the idea of dropping everything in your life, moving into a temple, becoming a monk or like a female monk, and and just diving all in like a full immersion. Nowadays, we don't have people doing that very much, but we need to see that they're still getting the essence of the practice, and I think that's a large part of our challenge of bringing bhakti into the next century and really facilitating people with it. For instance, if you moved into that temple, you'd be told you need to chant 16 rounds of japa. Your meditation is basically minimum 2 hours of meditation on this mantra. And a lot of people that are getting into bhakti now they're not going to move into temple, and their lifestyle is going to make it challenging to do that, especially in the beginning when you may have very little taste for it. You know, that taste is something that develops gradually, but exactly as you're saying, if you feel a sense of self-defeat because I can't do these 2 hours a day, or I struggle to do it, or I do it and it's almost like pointless because I'm watching. Yeah, because I can't concentrate when I'm doing. Then we just need to say, then let's get you to chant a minimum that's less than that, and we'll build our way up to that. And just trying to be intelligent about how we go about it.
I was with the chief this weekend, and the chief we're hanging out in the morning. The chief just goes, I'm going to chant my one good round today.
Okay.
He's going out. He's like, he's just committed to one good round.
Yeah.
You know what? And I'm okay with that. He's okay with that. Devotees, 2.0 devotees are very, very understanding.
2.0 devotees.
2.0 devotees. We're like, great.
Maybe that should be our next merch shirt. It should be like Wisdom of the Sages. We're the 2.0 devotees.
We are. There's no judgment. You're always welcome. Come as you are and try your best.
Okay. And we should encourage each other to always to do better, but it's just being thoughtful in how we apply that. We should try to create circumstances that increase our chances to stick to our healthier habits. We just need to be thoughtful about how we do it.
All right, sir. Let's dive into the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva devim saraswatim vyasam tojayam mandirayat. Before we start the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya, bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gyana Tamarandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Maditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 11, text. I don't know what text we're on.
We're text number 1, and we're at chapter number 12.
What?
Starting a new chapter today, Rugga.
Oh, my God. Okay, great. Chapter 12. And the name of the chapter is The Perfect Society, the 4 spiritual classes.
Yeah. This will especially have to do with the 4 ashrams. Brahmacharya ashram, which we could call celibate student life. Grihastha ashram, which is married life. Vanaprastha, which is kind of retiring for more spiritual, more spiritual focus. And sannyas, which is like the full renunciation at the end. That's what we're getting into here.
Celibate student life. It's like the opposite of students nowadays, isn't it? Celibate students.
What's the best party school in California?
I know.
All right. Text number 1 is often quoted. Prabhupada would quote this verse a lot. I think you and I might do a little reminiscing of our brahmachari days here today, Raghunath.
I'm reminiscing of my high school and like
No.
pep rallies and float meetings and the float
You really did all
parade.
that stuff. I don't know how, to me, being in
I
the
mean, I thought it
hardcore-
was dumb, but I was also like a class officer. So I was like sort of like in the mix and I was like, this is crazy.
What is a
but,
class officer?
I was like the class, class treasurer. I was a class treasurer.
What? You gotta be kidding me. How did they voted you into that position?
I was popular in high school.
They
I got
voted you into that position? Like
Yeah,
you
I think
convinced
they-
people that they should trust their money with you?
Yes.
I can't believe
Anyway.
you had like a campaign and all that.
I think
Posters?
I did. Yes, I did.
Really
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, then we have a float parade where each class builds a float and you go down Main Street. Then we had the pep
just-
rallies.
To me, like
Right.
hardcore and all that stuff were like diametrically opposed. Somehow you
I
found a
know.
way to do them both.
Somehow, yeah, I did them both. Then you have these weird pep rallies, the football homecoming, and you bring a
You were
car
playing
and the
your
football
tuba,
team
your
comes out.
sousaphone.
I was in the marching band. We're proud of our school colors, and yeah.
I just can't picture it all fitting together.
Well, you missed out on your sousaphone excitement.
I guess I
hanging out on
did.
the Lower East Side, huffing glue.
I was not huffing glue, people. Everyone
you-
around me was. All right.
All right.
Text number 1. Let's flip this conversation quickly from glue huffing to
Glue huffing.
self-discipline.
I've never
a
done
young
that,
age.
by the way.
Good for you.
Narada Muni said, a student should practice completely controlling his senses. They should.
You remember this verse? Brahmachari, Gure Kule, Vasandanto, Guror Hitam.
I never memorized this one. He should be submissive and should have an attitude of firm friendship for the spiritual master.
Mm,
Yeah, that's happening in high school. Firm friendship for their teachers.
that are trying to give you discipline.
Yeah. With great vow, the brahmachari should live at the gurukul only for the benefit of the guru. It's such a different mood. It's like the students are entitled to talk back. There's no submissive inquiry. That's how you grow. That's
Oh,
how
yeah.
you learn. That doesn't mean you can't sort of give a healthy sparring challenge out of affection for your team. Like, tell me this, and have a
Mhm.
healthy debate. But it's like they're flippant. Students tend to be flippant.
Even more than flippant. Worse
Sometimes
than
violent.
flippant.
Violent.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's
The
good. there.
teacher can't be violent, but the kids can be violent. It's
Well, it
crazy.
used to be that the teachers were violent. Now it's flipped, right?
Yeah. Well, although I think in India they still slap the kids. That's what my friend told me.
Yeah. Well, in any case, setting all that
Mhm.
aside,
Okay.
so here we get. I was, let's picture what this. When Narada, of course, the sage Narada is now speaking to the great king Yudhishthira. They're both like deeply spiritual people.
Mm-hmm.
Yudhishthira has all this heavy responsibility on his head to act for the good of society. This is what he's thinking. He's thinking, I need all the advice and insight that I can get in order to order society in such a way where people will be more likely to stick to their healthier habits. And there's a traditional way that's done that comes through the Veda, right? It's like when we understand like where is this all coming from? The idea is that this sage Vyasadeva, the idea is that there's this knowledge called the Veda that's eternal, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of just like vibrating through the universe. It's there. It's like just like there are radio waves
Oh, I like that.
that
I
are
like that.
always, yeah.
They're
it-
there. They're present. They're there. You don't really perceive them. They're in the ether, so to speak.
You need the right equipment to access them. And so the right equipment, the sages had that through meditation, that they could access this knowledge that is vibrating through the universe, that is non-different from God. That is like, they
Well, it's
call
not
it.
that they were also speaking it. They were speaking it to people.
Well, but Vyasa took it in. He didn't hear it from anyone else. He accessed it, you know, through the vibration, and then he wrote it down. He kind of edited it and wrote it down. And within that knowledge, that eternal knowledge, it's called apaurusheya. It's not created by any human being. But within that knowledge, part of it was understanding the different mindsets in the different stages of life, and how by following this these very useful insights, that individually and and collectively, we can move towards deeper spiritual understanding.
Prabhu, this is an important little phrase here, or word, apaurusheya.
Yeah.
It means, because people always challenge, well, where is it coming from? Who made it up? Someone had to write it. They're trying to like get you down. There's some guy that did this, and you guys are all following it blindly. It's apaurusheya. It always existed. We can't even find a compartment in our brain to even understand that. There's what do you mean it always existed? It had to start. No, it didn't.
No,
It's
it was
eternal
always there.
truth. It's almost, how would you define apaurusheya? Self-evident, not self-evident.
Well, I think
truth.
literally it means like apaurusheya, not from a person.
Not from a person.
It's actually a lot of what I've been writing about lately, but it has to do with. Want me to read a little bit what I was writing?
Yeah, if it's going to shed light on that word.
Well, it's exactly about that. Okay, so the sages have always held that our existence is not an accidental byproduct arisen out of random interaction of dust and gas in the dark void, but that it was intentionally designed, and that there was a universal manual that the sages. The universal manual of the sages was a body of knowledge called the Veda. At first, it's just called the Veda, right? The word Veda means knowledge. Followers of the Veda claim that it has no human author. It is apaurusheya, not created by any person. They say that the Veda is supernatural, the breath of the divine. That's the metaphor that's used in the Upanishads, right? That it's the breath of the divine.
Breath of the divine. I like that.
It's existing eternally in the form of sound vibrating through the universe. By means of intense penance, in meditative trance, sages became living receptors of the Veda. As a radio tuned into the right frequency receives a vibrating signal, or as a tuning fork picks up the vibration of another that has already been struck, sages had the ability to tune in and receive the vibrating knowledge of the cosmos, and then transmit that message for the good of the others, for the good of others. So that's the idea, is that Vyasa, if we were living in the day before radio, just going back a couple centuries, we wouldn't have had such an excellent metaphor or analogy, right? Because if you just think about it, if you said to someone back then, there are waves that are carrying sound and all kinds of information can just flow through the universe, and with the right receptor you could tap in and pull it out, but it's all around us constantly. They'd be like, stop with your mythology and your silly ideas. And, what are you talking about? In the air, there's these waves. I mean, like what, the wind? What are you talking about? It would have made no sense, but it was a fact. It was true.
True.
It was true, right? So now we can use that as an analogy, saying, yeah, they're right. Those waves are right here in this room right now, and you just need the right receptor to access it. Similarly, these sages, through the mind can receive this if you know how to do it, and you could learn how to do it through penance and austerity and meditation. You could become fine-tuned.
You get the download.
Tap into it.
From the cloud.
Exactly. You could download it.
Sometimes we have this concept of like, I got this download. People say that.
Yeah.
Guess what? You fine tune this machine, you get lots of downloads.
That's how reading minds takes place. You can actually read another person's mind because it's actually floating out there, and you can
finally
look at Raghunath light up.
Go in there.
Look at Raghunath light up.
Real. It's real.
And you could not only that, you could program someone else's mind with your own thoughts. You could control another person's mind.
Yeah.
But
That's what we're working on here.
No, no,
Wisdom
but,
of
no,
Sages.
no, that's not
That's
what we're. But the Bhakti yogis, they're not interested in all of that. That as
we're a
matter of
little
fact,
interested. We're a little. Come on. Who's
We're
not
totally
interested?
fascinated by it. No, you see, because like the Vaishnava, the Krishna Bhaktas, like Jiva Goswami, when he comments on the Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali, he warns us it's really not our path and it's not advised. But his reason is because when you get deep into it, you develop all these powers. And when you develop those powers, it's very likely that you just get lost in them. I can read minds. I can control someone else's mind. And I forget about the whole purpose of it all.
Hmm.
Right.
But
in any
powers?
case,
We can help.
okay. But in any case, within that floating eternal knowledge that that the sages could access, that Vyasa accessed, is these instructions about these 4 stages of life. And so when Narada's presenting it to Yudhishthira, he's presenting it in the very traditional sense, right? If we do apply this, when we apply this in our modern world, what to speak of our modern Western world, we try to take the essence of it and adapt it to the current circumstances. When Narada's speaking to Yudhishthira, this is thousands of years ago, and it's being presented in a very traditional way. Like, for instance, how the brahmachari dresses.
Right.
It's like deerskin, right? Like that's what you're meant to wear, right? And for people concerned about animals, which we appreciate, they wouldn't kill the animal to get it, but the animals die, so eventually they all die. And so that's the very simple cloth, the brahmachari. In any case, there's more about that we'll get into. But picture this, that when you're 8 years old, you're sent to the home of the guru, whether you visit it every day or whether you actually kind of live in the ashram with the guru, and you're getting training right from that stage. You're memorizing mantras, right? You're ideally, and we begin to get a sense of it here. He should be submissive. With that, we say submissive. No. When you have love for your guru, right? When there's a teacher in your life that you just have a deep, profound respect for, and even a deep affection for, then naturally that submissiveness, it naturally rises in the heart, and it becomes the most. Prabhupada sometimes uses this analogy that he says, just like if a woman is fertile and a man is potent, then by their union, then a child is born. And similarly, if the guru is potent with spiritual knowledge, and the student is fertile through the right attitude, through a submissive attitude, through a respectful attitude. When we say submissive, especially what we mean is essentially there's respect there. Then you become then the birth of spiritual knowledge in the student is easy. It's simple. But we live in a world of such hypocrisy that we're skeptical that this can even exist. And when we begin to hear these terms, it begins to trigger us. He should be submissive, should have an attitude of firm friendship make a great vow, should live at the Gurukul only for the benefit of the guru. But here's the thing, you and I kind of live this, like I feel we very much lived it as brahmacharis.
You know what? This whole thing, the lifestyle, the habits, the mood, the intention, we are creating ham radios, my friend. You know what ham radio is?
Yeah, we're working with radios today, huh?
It's a good
You were
analogy.
Probably a ham radio guy too. Tell the truth.
Sure. Yeah, I'm into them. Are you kidding?
What was they used to have those radios that could like take in signals from like all around the world? Do you remember?
Ham radios.
But is that a ham radio? I thought meant that you could become like the guy on the radio.
No, ham radio is like a amateur station.
Yeah, but there was another kind of radio
higher power output than CB radios.
But there's another radio where you wouldn't necessarily become the guy, but there's a radio where you could like hear stuff coming from like Europe or.
Yeah, that's a ham radio.
Is it?
Yeah, you can hear it. Let me see. Anyway, the ham radio is also known as amateur radio, wireless communication. Yeah, Linda, you got to be on this. Anyway, my point is, by behavior, by intention, by purifying the senses, by controlling the senses, by purifying the mind, you start to pick up messages, downloads from the universe.
Is
if
that what
I'm
you were doing?
clogged.
Is that what you're doing when we were brahmacharis organized? I had no idea that you were like
I was
downloading.
downloading various information.
Okay.
Whether we know it or not, that's what's happening.
Okay.
If I'm clogged, if I'm intoxicated, if I'm arrogant, nothing's going to come.
But let's be clear. We were downloading it from other human beings rather than tapping into the universal vibration.
No, not true. Not true, Prabhu. You don't
maybe
think God
you
is
were.
That's
Maybe.
Atheism you're speaking right now.
No.
God is
I'm being
real, and
practical.
God gives you downloads, and God touches people to talk to you. But God's behind it all.
Okay, but that's exactly what I said. I never said God wasn't behind it.
But it's not just people. There's also revelations coming in. When you read sacred literature, you hear from people, and then also God reveals things in your heart. That's real.
But I just want to be clear of our lineage's presentation. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but what I'm saying is generally what we're saying is that Vyas downloaded it, recorded it in his scriptures, like the ones that we read every day, right? Gurus help students understand the import of those scriptures, and the knowledge gets handed down in that kind of chain where we hear it orally from a teacher and through the scriptures. That's the foundation of what we're doing here, right?
And
I'm not saying that Raghunath was not tapping in.
Journaling, reflecting, and inspiration. That's also God. Inspire.
I agree with that. I'm not denying that. Right?
Okay.
I'm not denying. God is in the heart of every living being, speaking at any moment.
Talking to me all the time, man.
Okay. What is he telling you, Raghunath?
Telling me.
What are the voices saying?
Say mute, Kostuba. Mute him.
Yeah, okay.
Do we want to know what a ham radio is? Or
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you got a little delay reaction there, Linda. Come on.
Well, I've been waiting for the
She's
appropriate
been
moment to butt
patiently
in.
waiting. Raghunath.
Okay.
She doesn't interrupt.
So a ham radio enables communication across a city, region, country, continent, the world, or even into space.
Even into space, Kostuba.
Wow. Okay. But there was a name. Maybe it was shortwave. I don't remember.
I'm gonna get a ham radio.
But there was a name of whenever I thought ham radio, I thought you could.
Well, it's
broadcast.
also called amateur radio. So
Yeah. But there
people
was
can't broadcast.
There was another, like, just this little radio, and it had this little long wire that would be like your antenna, and you could be picking up stuff from all around the world.
You, my friend, are squirreling now.
Okay.
It was just an analogy.
Thank you, Raghunath.
It's just an analogy.
Thank you for setting me straight. My squirrel thanks you as well. Thank you.
At both junctions of the day and night, namely in the early morning and in the evening, they should be fully absorbed in thoughts of spiritual master, the fire, the sun god, and Lord Vishnu. And by chanting the Gayatri mantra, you should worship them.
Okay. So here's in a sense, here's what we're getting from our nugget, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to have good habits, then I need to kind of standardize what I'm going to do and create a routine. And so, like, at both junctions of the day and night, these are considered important times by the yogis, right? These junctures of day and night. And they're saying, let's build into the routine that every day, and now when you're living in the ashram and under the guru's care, it's even so much easier to kind of like stick to these kind of routines, that every morning and every evening, we're going to sit down and bring our thoughts to very sacred places, to the guru, to the fire, and the fire represents, the receptacle of our offerings to Vishnu, or that Vishnu is within fire, right? Like within the sun and so on. To the sun god and to Lord Vishnu. You know how they call Krishna Surya Narayan? You know that? It was a term that I was always trying to get to the essence. What does that exactly mean? And I did some research, Raghunath.
Oh, I want to hear that. I love stuff like this.
Because Surya, of course, is the god of the sun.
And then we always ask Lord Vishnu to enter the fire in a yagya. Is it from?
Yeah.
That was my guess.
Well, this is what I found, is that, of course, Surya is the god of the sun. So when we're chanting Gayatri and we're meditating on the sun, how are we meditating on Vishnu? Because Surya is the god of the sun. Mm-hmm. But Surya Narayan is Vishnu within the heart of Surya, within the sun. Interesting, right? So
Everyone,
by chanting,
you know what we get to do, which you don't get to do so much?
who's we?
Whoever's with me.
Okay.
Yeah, the other day it was me and Udi and the Bombay girls.
Get to see the stars.
Well, that too, but we get to like light fires. We were barbecuing,
Okay.
barbecuing,
I
and
like fire.
once you light that fire, it's mesmerizing. You can't.
We're gonna easy, easy.
No, I'm just saying, it sure is in the fire.
It's mesmerizing. That's
It
a little
is.
scary.
It is. Ever watch a fire? Can't take
What
your
kind
eyes
of
off.
kid?
If you have
What was it?
kids, you light a fire, shuts all the kids up. They
Does it?
stop talking. They stop gabbing. They stop asking crazy questions.
If your kids are a bunch of pyromaniacs, maybe. I mean, what kind of kids are you raising?
No, it's like the most stilling thing for the kids' minds.
Okay. So you know, we meditate. You know, both you and I have been given the Gayatri mantra to chant at these junctures of the day. You meditate on the sun. You meditate on Lord Vishnu through these mantras, and this is part of the ashram lifestyle that you're getting. Again, think of it. You're 8 years old. You get initiated into the lineage, right? And you're giving all these like, you and I.
What? You're like
we
taking it back.
We didn't get this when we were kids. As a matter of fact, we didn't even get like any of the good ask the questions that you're meant to be asking. What is life about?
You were with the glue huffers, and I was like in high step marching band.
Even before that, I wasn't with the glue huffers when I was 8. And even that, you know, it's kind of like, you know, a strong ethical codes, deep wisdom. It was just kind of like just play and forget it. They were getting this from an early age, getting such good impressions deep within their subconscious mind. So much growth could be. Imagine if instead of watching we would go home after school, start watching stupid television shows. They would be chanting holy mantras, easily memorizing the Bhagavad Gita, easily memorizing the Yoga Sutras, the Vedanta Sutra. You know, downloading all of this kind of just this wealth of information that would improve the quality of their life in so many ways. And Gayatri mantra, regularly building that regular mantra chanting into the routine at these these junctures of day and night were a fundamental part of that.
Well, I think there's a big, also a little interesting side note is you're sandwiching your day here, and this is important for all of us on the show. We have some morning time that's for God. It's for ourselves and for God. Before we go into the world of, you know, when we were growing up, you wake up with a alarm clock radio. Remember those? North of 45 years old, you know, remember that radio? It wakes you up, and it's like some rock and roll is playing. And there you're in the day already. You gotta brush your teeth, run and eat some breakfast, shove a Twinkie in your mouth, get out the door.
Some people turn on the television right then.
Some people turn on the television, the Weather Channel, whatever it is.
The Weather Channel.
But my point is, no, you need time before you have to get out the door. You need time for you and God. And that's listening to sacred literature. That's sitting in meditation. That's sitting and chanting your one good round. That's reading some verses Bhagavad Gita. When you conquer that, when you feel like, I got this, I'm doing it every day, then you take that to the evening. Before I go to bed, I'm going to hear, I'm going to chant, I'm going to read a story. I'm going to even let a lecture go on as I fall asleep or something like that at night. But we sandwich our day. Holy morning, holy evening, do your work during the course of the day, and you will take Lord Vishnu with you through the course of the day. It's a simple plan to regulate your mind and your senses.
There you go.
Putting that out there.
It's a way of working to increase the chances that you'll stick to your healthier habits and your healthier thoughts.
Yeah. Speaking of fire, one of our Zoomers, Kimmy Carroll, she was a fire eater.
Yes.
She did circus stuff, fire eating. Just thought I'd share that.
It's called a squirrel. A nice one.
It was a squirrel. She said, I got to teach Raghu fire breath. Yogis do a different type of fire breath, but that's real fire breath. Okay. Continuing on.
Text 3.
Being called by the spiritual master, the student should study the Vedic mantras regularly. Every day before beginning his studies, and at the end of his studies, The disciple should respectfully offer obeisances unto the spiritual master. That also sounds rote, perfunctory, but it's not. We say it all the time. We say something, I'm too blessed to be depressed, right? Or I'm grateful. That's my
Too blessed
meme.
to do what?
To be depressed. Too
Oh, to be
blessed. Too
depressed.
blessed to stress. This is the essence of Vedic teachings. We are grateful. We're deeply grateful. Here they just say we should respectfully offer obeisances. That doesn't mean we're just walking around bowing down, bowing down, bowing down. In our mind, we are bowed down. In our mind, we understand I have so much by the mercy of other people. And that's our mentality. We feel blessed. We feel grateful because we have great teachers and good fortune and spiritual information in our life. In that position, because I feel like I'm receiving this stuff, I can't get arrogant and I can't get like all haughty of the word. I feel like I'm blessed. I'm getting a lot of mercy. I'm getting a lot of grace. So when that mood is there also, this stuff, the download also accelerates. It's a quicker download speed.
It opens up the
that?
channel.
Download
It opens up the channel to the vibrations that you download through your
Yeah, it is like
meditation.
high speed internet.
Okay. What do they call it? Those wires that they have? The
Hardwired.
no, like those Fios, whatever. I don't know.
Fios.
Is it Fios? But anyway, there's cable. There's cable.
It's not dial-up.
Fiber optic.
If I'm like taking a lot of drugs, drinking beer on a regular basis, you'll get a download occasionally. It's like a dial-up. It's like you got me now.
But there's something I wanted to share. I forget.
That was so exciting, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, this is what I was thinking, Ragnar. Is that we get triggered by this stuff. We didn't like our teachers. We had a lot of bad experiences in school.
I like my teachers.
Maybe even our parents. Okay, good for you. But when we think about this idea of being submissive to a teacher, showing all of this respect, even offering obeisances to them, and what to speak of like living for them, right? Like it was just basically where you should live solely for the benefit of the guru. It can sound so foreign, but I do believe that we all have a desire for this in our life. It's a particular type of love, that's there. It's a particular flavor of love, days-rasa, right? There's a certain flavor of love in it, and when we see it from our Western perspective, when we see it in popular culture, a lot of times it's going to the East to find it. Like the Karate Kid or something like that, right? Like there's a guru figure. Right. Even like Yoda is basically modeled after like an Eastern guru, So like, or, another one was that film Kill Bill, where like the star of it, the protagonist is a woman that goes to Japan to learn how to sword fight, and she's got like a guru there that's
never saw
something like my guru, like incredibly stern and I don't know if punishing is the right word, but like kind of punishing,
cutting, pounding.
Yeah, like it's very difficult to satisfy and please, demanding. Extremely demanding, but she wins the heart of that guru through her submissiveness because she knows he's got the knowledge that I seek, and there's a meaning to this discipline by which and it's not cheap what they're giving, it's not cheap, and so I'm entering into a serious tradition, and I respect that, and I'm willing to accept the guru's method of instruction. And through that, she won the heart of the guru, and received the knowledge and the art from him. So I think we do. It's within us to see even a romantic vision of that type of love, and I think we desire it too. But unfortunately, many of us may go our whole life without ever finding even one relationship that really has that flavor. I think we're out of time. What's that?
I can be your heavy guru.
It
For
can't
your
be
benefit,
imposed,
not for my indulgence of rage or anything, just for your benefit. I can help you.
No, Chapu says that this bhakti helps us reconcile with the concept of authority. Maybe we need to reconcile with the concept of authority a bit, Raghunath, all of us.
Yeah,
Right?
Kasuba. Maybe
No,
we
I
can
do. I
reconcile.
definitely did, and that's my point. When we
Yeah,
hit,
but you got to continue. You got to continue to make this stuff work, and I can.
I
Help
do
you.
have to continue.
And Linda, I can help you too. Linda. What
Doesn't mean
are
that you
our
can't help.
takeaways today? Anything good? Any nectar?
I've got some
Remember, it's
good
not a
ones.
competition, but who got more takeaways, me or Christina?
I've got some good ones. I didn't keep track of who said what, though.
No, I have.
I'm sure you have, Prabhu. I'm sure you have. Okay. Construct your life in a way that will facilitate the ease of self-discipline.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
The only requirement to be in this club is an affection for Krishna.
That's all you need.
Join us.
2.0 devotees are very understanding.
Very understanding.
Very understanding.
Bhakti is the right receptor to access the Veda that vibrates through the universe.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Bhakti is the
Right receptor
right
to access the Veda.
receptor.
Yes. 2.
To access the Veda that vibrates through the universe.
There we go.
All right. Okay. Like that.
Hypocrisy creates skepticism that prohibits spiritual growth.
It can do that.
Yeah.
That's general effect of it.
Create a routine and build processes that help you meditate on spiritual things.
Okay.
Where'd you get that from? You're like pretty good at this.
We're talking about that the whole show. Were you listening at all?
I just didn't hear.
Where did you get that from? That's kind of beginning, middle, and end.
we feel blessed and grateful because we have great teachers and get lots of mercy.
We do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Here we go.
making your day a spiritual sandwich makes life better.
Oh, make it a spiritual sandwich. Little
Make a
Gayatri in the
spiritual
morning, little
sandwich.
Gayatri in the evening, little Gayatri in the middle.
Tree in the middle. Well, alrighty. Hey, guess what?
What?
Me and Lori Pag have an event, and we have a couple, not many spaces left, but there is Float, Fly, and Chant with me and Lori Pag. It's yoga.
Float, fly, and chant.
Yep, we're gonna float, we're gonna fly, do some handstands, do some yoga, and we're gonna
But-
sing a lot. And that's at Super Soul Farm.
Are we talking like actual like levitation here?
Levitation, perhaps. You can work on that. That's July 19th through the 21st. If you want a good excuse to come to Super Soul Farm, go to my website, raghunath.yoga, and check that out. And we're going to India. The crew's going to India. Me, America Stuba, going to India, holy places. Excited for that. And I also want to give a shout out to everybody who's a supporting member. This is a community supported podcast. Our podcast members here, this is why we're doing it. We're doing it. And we want to thank everybody who's supporting us. If you want to support us, you just go to wisdomofthesages.com and you can sign up to be a supporting member. And with that, you get many benefits. Treasure chests open up. Secret caverns.
Secret caverns.
Secret caverns with all types of
Downloading messages, mystical, mesmerizing fires.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out our new website in a long time, it's up, it's new, and it's also created by a supporting community.